Well, it's a pleasure to have on the program Lieutenant Governor Winsome Earle-Sears. As you know, ladies and gentlemen, we're going around the country trying to endorse great candidates, give them some airtime they may not otherwise get, and hopefully they'll get elected. Lieutenant Governor, how are you?
Hello, Mark. I'm doing well, and hello to your listeners. It feels like old time when I was running for Lieutenant Governor, and now I'm running for Governor of our great Commonwealth of Virginia.
And you have a real shot at this. I see you are tightening up the polls. So tell the people around the country and in the Commonwealth, what are some of the things that you want to get done or want to reinforce that the governor has done already?
Right. So I'm helping the governor to do the work, as you know, because, well, in Virginia, the lieutenant governor is not chosen by the gubernatorial candidate, so I had to have the little ovals filled in for me, too. So that means I had to go around and convince people that I would be good for the Commonwealth. So I've already won a statewide campaign as opposed to my opponent. Well, what have we done since we've been in office? Well, let me tell you, we have kept taxes at an all-time low, where we've even given $9 billion of the taxpayers' own money back to them. And, you know, that's a good thing because we work hard for that money. It shouldn't be the government spending our money the way that they see fit. So I'm going to continue that. And by the way, I'm going to get rid of the daggone car tax. Finally, I've got a car 13 years old, and I'm still paying the tax on this old
it's
car.
Crazy.
It's absolutely crazy. We had the money. We wanted to do it. The governor put it in the budget this year. And, of course, the Democrats said no. So my opponent, she says she wants to do the same thing. She's not going to be able to do it. She needs to go talk to her party. They're not going to let her do it. But I will. You know, she doesn't know what she doesn't know. The other thing that we're going to do is to make sure that we are safe and secure in our communities. No sanctuary cities. No, thank you. We will not give sanctuary to those who are criminally, illegally here. You said you came here to America for an opportunity, and what you've done is take the opportunity to prey on us, and especially those who are from your own home countries. That's not what we want in Virginia, and as a result, we have found the number 3 MS-13 leader right here in Virginia under the nose of my opponent. And furthermore, she has voted for sanctuary cities. And Mark, she has voted to keep the borders open. So we don't know who came through. And, you know, she doesn't either. But we're finding out now. And we have also found over 3,000 criminals illegally here in Virginia. Well, they're on their way to being gone, deported back to their home country. Then, of course, we're going to make sure that our girl children and boys, by the way, are safe. Not having to undress nude in front of biological males. And my opponent supports that. Don't understand why. She's got 3 girls. I don't think she wants them having to be forced to undress in front of biological men. And yet that's what she has voted for. That's what she supports. And she is in hiding. She's like Puxatawny Phil. Can't find a woman.
Yeah.
She won't come out and defend. Won't come out and defend her policies because she knows she's on the wrong side of this, and she's ducking and hiding. And she wants to be governor of our great Commonwealth. Mm-hmm. You don't do that by hiding, by being cowardly. So that's what we're trying to do. And then, of course, we have to make sure we don't defund the police, Mark, and we don't get rid of their qualified immunity. But my opponent, Abigail Spanberger, has taken money from, wait for it, Mark, defund the police PAC. You can't get any more succinct than that, indicating what you will do. We can't afford this woman. She's going to turn us back to where we've never even been.
And, you know, she pretends to be a moderate, and people out there say she's a moderate. She's a leftist. And to underscore your point, she said the other day that she's going to undo Governor Youngkin's decision, and that is she's going to make Virginia a sanctuary state. That's what she said. And I don't think Virginians want Virginia to be a sanctuary state. Do you?
No, of course not. So she's radical. We have her on video as saying she's a proud progressive, and of course the media, it's not the people, it's the mainstream media who have been trying their darndest to help her. be a moderate. But how could you be a moderate based on what I've just stated? You know, I'm an immigrant to this great country. And when I have done welcoming ceremonies for the newly naturalized American citizens, and I say to them, welcome to America. You have come to a great country full of freedom, full of liberty. But let me tell you something. If you're going to get a job here, you're going to have to join a union. And if you're going to keep this job, you're going to have to pay every paycheck to a union. Mark, that's what we left. We left that kind of nonsense. You don't force me to do something like that. That for me, that's another tax. So this is not really against unions. It's pro-liberty. Well, my opponent has voted to force every single state in our great union to be unionized, forced against your will. That's not what we do in America. And by the way, she's going to destroy all the good economic choices that we have made that have brought us the successes that, wait for it, my opponent says she is running on. So she's running on the successes of a Republican administration when Abigail Spanberger doesn't know how to create it. Doesn't know what we've already gotten rid of, for example, 89,000 different types of regulation, job-killing regulations, do-nothing regulations. We still got more to go. We haven't come this far to only go this far. I am ready to take command of Virginia on day one. My opponent is going to need on-the-job training because she was never there when we were creating the sound policies that have brought us where we are to the successes. She was in Congress. We can't afford her. We don't need her.
So she's wrong on immigration. She wants Virginia to be a sanctuary state. She's bought and paid for by the teachers' unions, which means there will be no reforms. And all these awful things that have been going on in Loudoun County, which is where I am, they're going to continue and get worse. She's a tax raiser. She's a regulator. And then she claims to be a moderate. Give people a little bit of your background, which is actually quite remarkable. You come to the United States legally as an immigrant from Jamaica, and then what do?
Well, you know, it started with my dad in 1963, just 17 days before Dr. King gave his I Have a Dream speech. And so it was a bad time for us, admittedly. It was a bad time. And so I asked my father, why would you come? Because he could have gone to England. It was easier for him to get into England than America, but, you know, he filed his paper, had to prove, wait for it, Mark, had to prove that he would not be a burden to the American taxpayer before they would allow him to come. And then when he came and got me when I was 6 years old, he had to prove that I would not be a burden either. So here I am, 6 years old, new country, and having to adjust. And let me tell you, it is an experience, very traumatic, but here we are. And then I joined the Marine Corps because, you know, my grandma died and I just was lost. And I figured the Marines would give me something, well, to live for and the discipline that I needed. And so I joined when I was 18. One of the best things I did with my life, I became a journeyman electrician, believe it or not, as well as a diesel mechanic. So you can smell me before you saw me. I think I am now the only lieutenant governor who can actually climb a telephone pole by putting on a pair of spikes. And I think I'm also the only blue-collar worker. Think about that, because I have my trade, although I have my degrees now. So, you know, America is just this wonderful country, and I'm always looking at things, Mark, just because of my upbringing in Jamaica, from a point of liberty. We've got to break down barriers. If you're going to do something that's going to take away people's liberty, then I'm not your girl. I'm not going to be supporting you. It's not going to work, which is why we've got to keep a right to work. You must have the right to not have to pay someone for it. It's forced assembly, and I'm not for that. And I've seen socialism, by the way, because when I went back to Jamaica at 10 years old, because I wasn't learning anything here, 9, 10. I saw socialism. We had the prime minister come to power and said Jamaica was now a socialist democratic country. Where have you heard about that before? AOC, yes, and all of those folks, yeah, is that working? And now you have the man in New York who's going to turn New York City, I don't know, into a socialist place? My God. Have we not learned anything? It didn't work in Jamaica. It doesn't work anywhere else. It's not going to work in New York.
No, you're quite right. Well, here's the thing. The media is pushing your opponent as a moderate. She's actually a radical leftist. They point to her intelligence background. Really doesn't matter. You have a Marine background, and you've been lieutenant governor for 4 years, so everybody knows where you stand. And she's been able to weasel her way through a very difficult congressional district by pretending to be a moderate back in her district. She goes to Washington. She votes with all the leftists. She votes with all the Democrats. And as a governor, and as you know better than anyone, you're governor for one term, 4 years, so you're lame duck right out of the box. She'll have no accountability. Nobody will be able to do anything about it, will they?
No. And that's why, she really has a tougher road ahead of her, because the people in the polls are saying they like where Virginia is. They like the economic successes that we have. They like the money that we've given back to them in the form of taxes. They like that we are creating all these jobs and keeping them safe. She was never here doing any of the work. So, Abigail, we've been doing the work. Where have you been? That's right. You were in Congress, one of 535, taking all kinds of radical policies. For example, Mark, she wants only renewables, which is solar and wind. But, Mark, have you noticed the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine? And what do we do then? Of course, we need clean coal, oil, renewables, yes, nuclear, natural gas, all of the above. She will kill the jobs that we have in Virginia, because we need the power to power the companies that are coming, that are already here.
We're talking to the Lieutenant Governor of Virginia, Winsome Earle-Sears, who's running for governor against a liberal who's pretending to be a moderate. I guess my last question to you is this. In the last part of this campaign, it's not the last part of the campaign yet, but in the course of this campaign, is she willing to debate you?
Right. So she was running from a CNN debate, and, it's not known, CNN, to be a bastion of republicanism, Mark. And, in fact, I was on a show with them, and, they tried to, knock me up one side and down the other. But it didn't work, and I really held my own with them. And then they said to me, well, we've tried to get your own opponent, Abigail Spanberger, and she will not come. So she doesn't want to face her very own liberal media. Makes no sense. So finally she agreed to a debate after saying I didn't want to debate her. It's just nonsense, back and forth. What are we, children? Exactly. We're running to be governor of the great Commonwealth of Virginia. So finally she said yes, and she's going to debate me. We'll see, because her policies are radical. Her policies would say, parents, you don't have any say in your child's education, because that's how she voted. She voted against the Parents' Rights Act, that you know if there's violence in the schools, that you would know if the curriculum is being changed into something political, that you would know, well, if your child is being transitioned and helped by school personnel. This is a woman. We can't afford her.
Mm-hmm. All right, folks, if you want to help, and I hope you do, it's winsomeforgovernor.com, WINSOMEFOR, forgovernor.com, winsomeforgovernor.com. She'd be a great governor and have a great impact on the national political scene. We wish you all the best. God bless you, my friend.
Thank you, and God bless you and your listeners.
All right, you take care. Isn't she fantastic, Mr. Producer?